Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, something to me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Supernova, the Baron's Path. So guys, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes while I entertain you, and let's just jump right back in. Alarm chain, you're up, and let's go. Okay. This isn't negotiable, Raccoon. You're either registered with SPEC or you're a vigilante, and Templar is not a goddamn outlaw. I run my fingers through the fur on my forehead. This is certainly a change of pace from the funeral. I'd be more annoyed with the rat right now for not telling me much sooner if I didn't know that the team had been too preoccupied with Templar's death to think of all this. It's a hell of a shitty thing to have just sprung on you like this, though. Ugh, fine. The Baron points out a tall husky, who I now notice had been speaking with Mrs. O'Connor just moments ago. As the badgers drive off, the dog turns to see us approaching. He looks older than the Baron, maybe around the same age as Templar had been. The American flag pin on his lapel catches the sun, blinding me for a brief moment. This is Gregory Johnston, Director of the Superpowered Persons Engagement Commission. Greg, this is Nick Saunders. He's the new Templar. Hi. Oh. The husky beams at me in that open and friendly manner dogs often do. He offers me a paw to shake. I hesitate only a second before taking it. Good to meet you, Nick. Surprised Tim let it happen. Been bugging him for days now. I give the Baron a puzzled look. Guess he even respects my privacy enough not to out me to the freaking government willy-nilly. Didn't extend the same courtesy regarding the O'Connors, but at least they had a lot of right to know. Yeah, well, he hadn't decided until recently. Right. Anyways, is there more to whatever this is? Some bureaucracy, but you don't need to worry about that stuff right now. Your identity will be secure, of course. Only select few have access to such information. We take our hero's safety very seriously. Great. I'll handle all that on Nick's behalf, Greg. Just figured a quick introduction was in order. Of course. Then I'll be in touch soon, on this and other matters. If you don't mind, can Nick and I have a moment? Uh-oh, again? I can't tell if the Baron is surprised by the request. What is surprising, however, is that he looks to me for a reply. Sure. The rat nods and walks off. First of all, Nick, I must commend you on behalf of the federal government for deciding to take up this mantle. Should I politely indicate that I couldn't care less what the federal government thinks? Yeah, dude, I don't think you want to fucking piss off the fucking federal government, alright? This Gregory is starting to remind me of the military recruiter that came around to our high school. My dad, being a vet himself, was keen on me hearing the man out. Of course, that wasn't going to happen. Not then. Not now. Thanks. Gregory must be catching on that I am very much lacking in enthusiasm at the moment. He gives me a long look, his expression turning somber. It's a tragedy what happened to Michael. Still, we have to keep moving forward. We're all counting on you. I tend to do my best. I'm certain you do, and we at SPEC are committed to ensuring our great heroes can get the job done. The Sentinels are an independent group, but I think you should consider a formal contract with us, Nick. Our support can be invaluable. There it is. I think I'll stick with the team, but thanks. A partnership with us won't preclude you from that. Still, I'll pass. To my great surprise, the husky shows no signs of frustration with me, instead smiling again. This is obviously not the best time for this talk. We should meet again so you can learn more. He hands me a business card. As tempted as I am to toss it, I pocket it, nodding firmly at him. Is that all, then? For now. I hope to see you soon, Nick. Just don't go mentioning my name to anyone, alright? And good luck. Sure. Thanks. Most everyone is gone by now, with just Vince and Frank in the car and the Baron watching me from the sidewalk. He beckons me with a gesture. There. Done. What did he say? He wants to get me in some bullshit contract. I take it you refused. I snort in response. Not a flag licker then. Good. Although you better have stayed respectful. Gregory is not someone we can afford to antagonize. Oof, must be hard for you with your shining personality. My comment is met with a slight narrowing of the rat's eyes. What's a flag licker anyway? One second, guys, let me sip my coffee. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Superheroes in government employ. Ah! Yeah. Didn't know that was a thing. Read the news then. Okay, whatever. He said he wanted to meet up again. Then we'll take him up on that offer. What? Why? I have no intention of saying yes. You don't need to. Then what's the point? The point is that you're a part of this goddamn world now, and you'll need to learn how to deal with people like him. You're saying dealing with the government agencies is part of my training? Yes. Groaning, I rub my forehead. Either way, we've kept the champ waiting long enough. He reached into an inner pocket of his jacket and retrieves a simple USB stick. Some information that would be useful to you. Nothing incriminating, but still. Keep it to yourself and don't lose it. The password in the folder is Coonjob. Seriously? Yes, and read the damn Cape Act. You'll be in it if I have to clean up any messes because you didn't know the law. I just wave him off, not bothering to say goodbye as I hurry to Vince's car. The Tiger doesn't immediately drive off as I get in. Instead, both he and Frank give me concerned looks. Everything all right, buddy? Yeah, all good. Saw you talking with Gregory. Did he make the pitch? Didn't give him much of an opportunity. What did Sarah say? I think about what I should tell them. Mrs. O'Connor wanted to speak with me alone. And again, nothing we discussed was all that private. Maybe there would be no harm telling these two. Should I? Keeping confidence. She was very nice to me. Just sort of apologized, I guess. I don't say anything else, and even though I sense that Nisus wants me to explain further, I look away until I see him nod from the corner of my eye. All right. Shall we head back? Yes, let's. From there, we drive in silence. Frank has taken out his phone and is tapping at the screen. I'm a little curious what someone like him would find interesting on the internet. Nisus doesn't seem like the social media type, and like Superfang, who has a wildly popular Instafur account. He posts selfies all the time, whenever he's finished dealing with a crime or from the tops of skyscrapers. I spent some time yesterday browsing through his feed. It's very endearing in a way. The other Sentinels just have fan pages and such, nothing official as far as I'm aware. Maybe they use that stuff in their civilian guises, but I'm not about to start looking for Frank's account on Chirper. That could be interesting. Should I ask if he has one? No, that's dumb. My thoughts drift back to the conversation with Mrs. O'Connor. The more I ponder it, the more depressing it becomes. Wonder what the Baron thinks about all this. Would she tell him what she believes happened? Probably. He seems to be very close with Templar's family. Maybe it means he'll ease up on me since I got the power so his friend's son would live a normal life. Except, I know he won't, because he thinks Danny should have inherited the bracelet. Templar said he was sorry. I guess I know what he meant now. Must have felt like he was throwing me under the bus. Or, well, I could have still refused, in which case nothing would change. But I could also do what I ended up doing anyway and relieve the son of his burden. In that light, his actions make sense. One second, guys. I'm going to save and drink some coffee. Oh, that's a good brew. Nantucket Blend. Medium roast. In that light, his actions make sense. If I carry on like these doubts are going to pursue me forever. Maybe it doesn't matter. It is what it is, as I told Mrs. O'Connor. I've already made up my mind. There's no point in moping about. Speaking of moping, maybe I should try to lift the mood in the car somehow. No idea how, though, since I don't know either of them well enough. Which could be a starting point. Small talk to the rescue. Frank, do you also have, like, a civilian identity? The Fox puts away his phone and looks at me with a half smile. Yeah, I need a driver's license, you know. That's not what I... Chuckling, Frank raises his paws. I know, I was joshing. Sorry to disappoint, but I'm jobless. Ah, is that bad? It's not great, I guess. What do you do in your free time, then, assuming you take any breaks from all the superhero stuff? I've been trying to learn to code. I'm a little bit annoyed at myself for thinking that it's no surprise the Asian Fox would be into that, but then I'm about to voice that particular thought. Fancy yourself a little game dev? Ah, no, I hate those things. Vince laughs. I tried getting to play a fighting game with me once. Should have seen the disgusted look I got. Michael, on the other hand, was all over it, like a little kid. Imagining the three Sentinels just chilling and playing a video game is somehow mind-boggling yet heartwarming at the same time. The Tiger is back to his cheerful self that I've grown so accustomed to by now. Nisus is smiling too, like he was the first time I saw him. I didn't expect my poor attempt at getting a conversation going to be such a resounding success. Even reminiscing about their fallen teammate doesn't seem to bother them. I'm a little shocked to learn that Templar could be quite a goofball at times. This one time, he told me Danny was starting to beat him at basketball, so he spent a whole day practicing until he was confident he'd stay the undefeated dad. I remembered that. He was so pleased with himself. Too bad you both got in trouble with Unbound for shirking your patrol duties. The Tiger winces at that. I guess the point is, Super Fang will go along with whatever dopey activity you can come up with, so long as you present it right. He frowns, thinking. You know what? Scratch that. You don't even need to present it all that well. Hey, I'm not that easy to persuade. If you say so, big guy. Vince pounces the fox and I laugh, then joins in himself. Ah, but seriously, try not to do stuff like that while Emma is around. She likes when we stay focused on what really matters, duty and responsibility and such. What's her alter ego? Oh, she's the county prosecutor. Whoa! Yep. Wow. How did she find the time to be superhero too? The job makes sense, though. I'm sure it takes just one look from those intense eyes for the criminals to confess everything. Makes my skin crawl, and I haven't even done anything wrong. Okay, I've done some things wrong, but those are just too minor to get me in trouble with someone like her, right? Doubt she cares to deal with the minor acts of vandalism and trespassing. Besides, I've never been caught. Regardless, Unbound sure is scary. I hope I never get on her bad side. Either way, now that the mood is lighter at least, we can chat away while Vince drives us through downtown. Frank asks to be dropped off a couple blocks down from his apartment building, saying he wants to take a short walk. When Vince rolls the car to a stop near Grifton, he pats my shoulder once before I get out. Hey, text me if you need anything, alright? Sure thing, thanks, Vince. I wave goodbye as the Tiger drives off. Back in our suite, I find myself alone, with Lucas likely at the library studying for his exams. I should do some of that myself, but I don't feel like it right now. Now that I have a moment all to myself, I let my curiosity guide my actions. It's high time I gave this armor a proper test. It didn't work last time, but I was still healing up, so maybe that's why. The Baron mentioned it would repair my body first, the armor second. It should have been enough time by now, I hope. But first, I lock my room, hide my laptop so the NSA doesn't get any ideas, and make sure the blinds are closed. Then I clear as much space in the middle of the room as I can. Admittedly, this isn't the best place to be doing this thing, but then again, what would be? I could try to sneak onto the roof. Come to think of it, I will need to find a safe spot at the college where I can take off unseen, won't I? I'll worry about that later. Into my mental checklist it goes. First, the armor. Feeling a little dorky as I stand there, arm upraised, I nevertheless try to concentrate on the task at hand. The figure depicted in the center of the pattern draws my eyes, so I stare at it, envisioning myself as the warrior clad in Templar's armor. I just need to fight the small voice in my head that says it's silly to imagine myself like that. I can fight just fine, bitch. Yep, take blows, swing the mace around, drop some supervillains. I can do it. I'd be wearing this thing otherwise. As if reacting to my thoughts, the bracelet vibrates. For sure this time, and then glows red, blinding me for a moment. Then, starting with my right arm, the armor starts forming right out of thin air, translucent shapes solidifying in familiar forms as the gauntlet spreads up my hand and wrist. Coffee machine! Whoa! I stand still as more and more of my body is covered, spreading from my right arm to the left, the armor startlingly light compared to what I had been expecting. As the helmet forms, I close my eyes, but the pressure is light, and when I look again, the field of view through the slits remains much wider than I would have thought. It takes a few seconds to form in full. Seconds that I keep my body frozen in place. When I move, it's, once again, oddly easy. The only discomfort I feel is from my tail squished up against my back. My clothes aren't gone, but even then, my fur is enough of a cushion between my skin and the metal. I flex my fingers, fold my arms, and take several steps around the room. The glow from my armor throws a soft red light around the room. After spending several minutes just testing my movements, it occurs to me to look in the mirror at last, and my eyes open wide at the sight. It's still very much Templar's armor, but the shapes have changed somewhat. The helmet in particular looks different, with much sharper angles. Even the plume is missing. Huh. I can't deny it looks hella cool, though. Just a bit different. I guess the public will have to get used to that. After more time spent examining myself in the mirror, I turn around to step in the center of the room again. Do I feel stronger? I kinda do. To test my theory, I slide my paw under the bed frame and lift. It's not a stark difference, but there's an undeniable increase in strength there. Awesome! Now then, time to see if I can figure out this whole flying thing. As I concentrate on what I want to do, the light on the greaves around my heels intensifies, and I start to float up. Holy crap! It's just several inches off the floor, but I quickly find that it's difficult to hold my balance and start flailing with my arms as I laugh. Awesome! This is fucking awesome! Fuck it, I should just go outside and try this shit for real! I'd go find some crime to stop if I wasn't supposed to be keeping a low profile, but that doesn't mean I can't fly around, right? I could. Yo, Nick, want to come out for dinner? Lucas's voice sends me crashing back to reality. And to the floor as well, as my concentration slips and I drop with a resounding cling. Dude, you okay in there? Yeah, just dropped my backpack. Oh, alright, so, dinner? Nah, I'm gonna eat late. Go ahead without me. I lie on the floor for a bit, heart pounding against my chest. I can't restrain a giggle, though. Alright, maybe I should be more cautious, but this shit is, to put it bluntly, really freaking cool. I roll to the side and will the armor disappear. It does, much quicker than it formed, and I'm left staring at the bracelet. Yeah, I can definitely work with this. My fur is matted and I've become a little sweaty, but I couldn't care less. I'm practically vibrating with excitement. How do the others actually expect me to sit around and study when I have this? Okay, calm down. I can't go out yet. Even if I'm half tempted to throw open the window and try this flying thing out, properly this time. Time for that will come soon enough. I pace around the room, grinning from ear to ear, while I wait for my heartbeat to subside. I should do something productive. I decide to go look up Gregory on my phone. As expected, he's not officially listed as the director of SPEC. Searching for the Baron's civilian identity is much more fruitful, since there aren't many albino rats in Nova named Tim, and the results aren't surprising in the least. Rich boy from a billionaire family. Shocker. I'll look more into him later. I take a quick look at the Cape Act, too, but slogging through the legalese is a quick reminder of why I never considered a career in law. I try to extract the main points, at least. Anyone with superpowers who intends to use them to fight crime needs to register with the government. Use of powers on foreign soil is banned. Superheroes can be held accountable for property damage or excessive use of force, yada yada. As I feel my eyes glaze over, I close the tab and retrieve the USB drive the rat gave me, curious to find out what the information he deigned to share with me. Plugging it into my tablet, I dismiss the notifications, open the new folder, and enter the password the Baron gave me. What do we got here? Bovine. Horny. 15 supervillains that are nice. Fuzz feed. That's great. Rows and rows of files scroll across the screen. Most of them are dossiers on what I presume to be various supervillains of the West Coast. Some names I see are familiar, minor crooks that got their day in the limelight before being promptly jailed or forced into hiding. And some so famous I'm surprised he even bothered including them here. Even preschoolers know Lady Winter. Hell, Flicker is practically a historic figure, even if nobody's quite sure if they're still even sentient anymore, seeing as how they're being a pure energy now. Just wandering the desolation of New Mexico like some kind of silent guardian. According to the Baron's notes, they occasionally make their way west, though. I keep scrolling. For now, I only open the dossiers that catch my eye. Besides general information, the Baron has included notes on countering powers, a detailed list of criminal activity full of reports of encounters with the supervillains. He doesn't spare any snark in his notes, either. Not that it's unwarranted. Some of these people have picked truly atrocious aliases. I'm surprised to see some individuals that have no criminal record. The Baron has listed information on the so-called vigilantes, too. Alright, guys, I'm gonna pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!